Right, the Portuguese Grand Prix made a comeback to the Formula One calendar in 2020 and 2021 after several years of absence, with the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve playing host to the event. Now, Sunday, 26 March, marks the start of the 2023 season. Just last year, South Africa's very own Brad Binder finished second in the final race at the Valencia Grand Prix. His brother Darryn was unfortunately relegated to Moto2. For more on this, we are joined by nine-time SA Superbike champion Clinton Saller. He's right here in studio with us. Clint, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you very much. Yeah, really appreciate it. Always great to be here.
Always good to have you. Let's get straight into it, and let's start with South Africa's Brad Binder. I mean, he made his MotoGP debut in 2020, and in that very year, he also got Rookie of the Year. I think he came in at 11th. Over the years, he has, performed progressively well. What do you think we can expect to see from him come next week?
So Brad has definitely become one of the best riders in the world, for lack of a better description for him at the moment. He's definitely spearheading the KTM development of their bike. They're spending a huge amount of money and huge amount of effort, and Brad's their guy. He's their number one, and he's the guy that they're really pinning for results. So I think I don't believe it would be a year for him to maybe win the championship, but I think it's a year where he's going to have 2 or 3 rounds where he can definitely go for a win and be consistently on the podium, which will be a huge achievement and definitely push KTM in the right direction for the future.
And then his brother, as you've heard me mention now in my intro, he was sadly relegated to Moto2. Where do you think he's gone wrong, and what do you think he needs to do to get himself back to MotoGP?
So I think Darryn was always a tough case in the sense that he had a 1-year contract. He had moved from the smallest class, being Moto3, straight into MotoGP on a very old bike. In MotoGP, those bikes are so advanced that a very old bike means it was a year old. So I think it was always a tough case for him. I think it was always going to be tough for him to prove himself, because as soon as he pushed and he fell, that would negatively affect his sort of, the outlook that they had on him. So I think it's actually great he stepped back to a strong team in Moto2, and I think it allows him to maybe follow the progression that he should have gone anyway. So I think a couple of years in Moto2, perhaps, really create a strong name for himself there. He can then, he's got the Binder surname, which does help, and he can perhaps move into MotoGP in a few years' time.
2022 champ, Francisco Bagnaia, do you think we can see him bagging it again this time around? And if not, what do you think, or who do you think rather, are some of the names that we should be looking out for that can be a bit of a pain in his side?
So, unfortunately, he, in pre-season testing, has been extremely dominant. He really has, and the Ducati he's riding, in fact, all of the Ducatis, there's 7 of them in the field, or 8 of them in the field, that are just sort of a level above every other manufacturer. And MotoGP, like Formula One, it's the bike that you're riding makes a huge difference. All those guys are incredible motorbike riders. So I think Bagnaia is in a place where he is so supremely confident, which is what a motorcycle rider needs to be, on the best bike in the grid. So I do think he's going to have a lot of dominance this year. Thorn in his side will be the 2021 championship winner, which is Fabio Quartararo. He's on the Yamaha. He's going to be, because he's also, again, a really talented rider. And then I must be honest, I'm a huge Marc Marquez fan, which might not be popular with the world, but to me, he's the best motorbike rider that has ever existed, ever. He's just an extreme talent, and I think if Honda give him a bike that is worthwhile, he can challenge on, he is always a potential to be a race winner.
So your money is on who?
I want my money to be on Marc Marquez, but if the smart money would definitely be on Bagnaia on the Ducati, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so very quickly, before we go, the last time you and I spoke was prior to you winning your 9th title. And our viewers would have heard me say in my intro that you are the 9-time SA Superbike champion. I haven't seen you since you've won. So firstly, congratulations on that. A big congratulations. It's phenomenal that you've won it 9 times. How was that 9th one for you? Are you looking at a 10th? What are your plans?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was actually a really great weekend. It seems so long ago, November last year. It's a lifetime ago in racing, but it was a really great day, and I had sort of a really dominant day. So I was super proud of how the day went for the whole team. So it was really cool. But yeah, after that day, clean slate and you go again. It doesn't matter what you did in the past; it's what you're going to do in the future. And I want to win 10. Yeah, that seems to be the number that is coming. This year is definitely going to be a little bit more difficult. There's fortunately been some really strong riders that have come in, you know, guys have come back from overseas and things like that. So, you know, I'm an old bullet now, but that also makes me a clever bullet. So we'll see how it works out. And our first race is next weekend. So I've got to, yeah, show a clean pair of heels, I hope.
You looking forward to it next weekend?
I am. It's nice to, they're always a lot of fun, even though they're scary to ride our bikes. I'm looking forward to, you know, letting my mind loose and having a lot of fun.
Clint, thank you so much for your time. We're going to have to leave it there for now. That is 9-time SA Superbike champion Clinton Saller. He's chatting to us ahead of the MotoGP, which kicks off on the Sunday, the 26th of March 2023. And as you heard me say earlier, we do have South Africa's very own Darryn Binder, who's going to be in that tournament as well. And we are definitely holding thumbs for him. We'll see what happens, and we'll keep you updated here. We'll have more sport.